Hola, friends. Welcome to the Medicine, Marriage, and Money YouTube channel, the only channel for physicians who want to achieve marital interdependence and financial freedom together. On this channel, you will learn how to show up as the best version of yourself so that you can love intentionally and build a more financially savvy relationship with your spouse. And I am your host, a physician mom, a doctor's wife, a Gottman leader, a certified life and marriage coach, Dr. Kate Mangona. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to another episode of Medicine, Marriage, and Money. So today we're going to be talking about when you are irritated, when you are always irritated, whether you feel like you're always irritated or always upset or always angry, and what to do about it. So I was recently scrolling on Facebook, not mindlessly. I actually go on Facebook so I can answer other people's questions and connect with people. And somebody brought up anonymously this question in a physician group. And they said, am I the only one who feels like an a-hole? Why do I always feel like this? I feel like I'm always irritated and I'm always angry, regardless of where I am. At work, people irritate me. At home, people irritate me. My husband asks me a question and I wish he would just figure it out himself. I feel like he's just asking me questions because he's lazy. My children are constantly asking me questions that they could easily answer themselves. I've got decision fatigue. I'm irritated. I'm stressed out. I'm burnt out. Why do I feel like this? This is not who I am inside. I am typically happy. And then all the responsibilities of life. Okay, so she asked this question anonymously, and she had several people answer her. And the first thing that somebody said, and I actually agree with, or the first thing that caught my attention, because this is the first thing I would have volunteered to say. Yes, no, not all of my friends irritate me. Getting response from the audience here. We're going to go through three things today on when you constantly find yourself irritated and what to do about it. So the first thing is we're going to talk about your unmet needs. The second thing is we're going to talk about, are you asking yourself the right questions? Because I will tell you, why do I always feel like an a-hole? Or am I the only one who is constantly feeling like this? Those don't lead you in the direction you probably want to go. Yes. Are you the only one? No, you're not. All of us feel this way, especially when our mind is just so stuck and can't get out of it and see what else there is. Okay. And the third thing we're going to talk about is crafting your surroundings, just designing your surroundings. And we're going to go quick because I'm at a conference right now in Orlando and have a dinner to go to pretty soon and a coaching client to go coach. So let's start with our unmet needs. When you are constantly and find yourself constantly in a state of irritation, that is often the sign that you have an unmet need. And there are a lot of unmet needs. Now, there are the basic ones, right? If you go on Maslow's hierarchy, the triangle we all learn in psychology class, if you are not sleeping enough, if you are not moving your body and exercising for mind health, physical health, it all travels up from your body to your brain. If you are not eating healthy and taking time to watch what you put in your body, that is going to be a huge unmet need that we need to discuss first. If you are constantly exhausted, absolutely physically exhausted, not just mentally exhausted, we've got to find for you to sleep. Okay, because that is the number one source of irritation I see around me is women physicians, was when they're not sleeping. They become very easily irritated. So after you meet your basic needs, sleep, nutrition, movement, then comes the more physical, spiritual, or the more mental and spiritual ones. So the first ones would be certainty. Do you have a certain element of certainty in your life? Do you feel significance or purpose for what you do? Do you find fulfillment? Okay. Do you have enough autonomy? That's another need. Autonomy, feeling like you're not being managed, but you can actually make decisions. And then the more spiritual needs of growth. Are you constantly feeling like you're learning, like you're growing, like you're getting better, like you are making progress from today to tomorrow? Okay. And then service or contribution. Do you feel like you're giving back to your community? Also, I missed in there love and connection. That would be another basic need. Love and connection. We are human creatures. Now, if you've followed or know about lifestyle medicine, there are pillars to lifestyle medicine. One is sleep, one is nutrition, one is exercise. And actually surprisingly to some, the most important of all is social connection. We are social beings as humans. We need interaction, unless you're that rare hermit who lives out in the woods. And I don't know of anybody who's watching this who is one of those people. So that's not you. So don't even think about that. Love and connection. And so when you find yourself irritated, I want you to pause, because you do recognize that you are. I want you to pause and ask yourself, okay, where am I feeling this irritation and why? What is it? You may think that it's because your spouse asked you that question or your children asked you that question. Okay, I want you to dig deeper. What else? So what if they asked you that question, right? We ask questions all the time to our friends, to our family, to our colleagues. Why is this one so irritating? And what unmet need am I having right now? Is it growth? Is it a sense of significance, certainty? Is it sleep, exercise, health? Is it autonomy? Is it love of myself, connection to other people? What is it? And figure that out. And then this leads us into point number 2, which is ask yourself the right questions so that you can lead yourself away from irritation. And I'm not saying don't feel irritated. By all means, you're allowed to feel irritated. The question is, how long do you want to be irritated for? Especially if this is not you. If you are not Eeyore, right? If you are more of a Tigger by nature and personality, but you found yourself stuck the last couple weeks or months or maybe even years. So ask yourself questions like, what do I need right now? What does my entire family need right now? Beginning with me. So the next time your spouse, your coworker, your child comes to you with a question and you feel like you want to fly off the handle and are filled with irritation and feel like you may respond with some kind of a-hole response or react, right? When you react, before you react, think about how you want to respond. And before you respond, think about what you need. And maybe you need to go take a nap. Maybe you need to go to your room and shut the door for 5 minutes. Tell everybody you're going potty. Okay. Sometimes if you have little kids, they'll follow you. So you have to get creative. I'm going to give you an example. This weekend, I was really needing some relaxation time. I have 3 kids, 2.5, 4.5, and 6.5. I don't often get much relaxation time when I'm home at work. So what I did is I decided we were going to do a spa day. We put the 2.5-year-old down for sleep. I got out my moon pot. I put it in my bathroom. I lied on there. I covered myself with a blanket. And I said to my 6-year-old to go to town with her hair chalk. I mean, it's washable. You can wash it out. And I meditated / drifted into sleep while she did my hair. And it was lovely. And I felt in community, and I felt the love and connection between her and also the love and connection with myself. And she didn't ask me many questions, a few, but I put the ball in her court. This is her spa day. She gets to do whatever, braid, color, brush, just no clipping. There is no scissors in my bathroom. So how can I be this? And the second question I want you to ask yourself, after you ask yourself, what does my family need starting with me? For me, it was that rest, but in community with my child and my husband was actually taking one of the other kids to gymnastics. And when she got home, she came, joined us and started playing dress up and bouncing around the bathroom. It was all amazing and it was fun. And I got some rest and relaxation. So be creative. And now your situation might not look entirely like that, but create something that you need. Okay. The second question I want you to ask yourself is, am I the spouse that I want to be married to? Do I want to come home to a spouse who comes home from work like that? Do I want to come home to a spouse who is talking like this all the time, her response to my questions like that? And if you say no, okay, because you're thinking about yourself, am I the spouse that I want to be married to? And you think in yourself as an a-hole or irritated constantly, let me just answer for you. No, you are not that spouse you want to be married to. You want that spouse who feels loved, accepted, supported, nurtured. Now, I'm not saying you can give that to them because those feelings do come within. So if you want to feel loved and nurtured and supported, first, you're going to have to be loving, supportive, nurturing. So you have to turn it around and then be that person that invites that energy into the room. Okay. So the third question, this leads us right into the third question before we go to part 2. This is part 2, question 3. Am I showing up with energy rich? Am I showing up energy rich? How do you know? Well, this is a whole nother discussion, but I will tell you that energy neutral is just, it's a little bit critical. It's ho-hum. It's just not very uplifting and it's not elevating and it's not helpful. It's critical to a way that's not constructive. If you are showing up energy rich, you are solving problems. You are creating solutions. You are being mutually helpful and having conversations that move you forward instead of move you backwards. Now, of course, we all love the nostalgic memories down memory lane and the love. Let's move us forward. Progress equals happiness. Let's get to more progress in our questions, in our thoughts, in our mutual conversations between you and your spouse and you and your children and colleagues. So step number 3, we talked about unmet needs and what those might be. We talked about, are you asking yourself the right questions? Are you the spouse you want to be married to? Let's ask yourself more helpful questions to get you where you want to go. And then number 3, crafting your surroundings intentionally and mindfully, creating your surroundings to a place that doesn't attract a-holes. Okay, so this may mean you need to hire a housekeeper. You may not need to hire somebody to do your laundry and your dishes. You may need to hire the neighborhood kid, and it doesn't have to be expensive, right? You just have to lower your standards. People aren't going to do it your way. But if you want to continue to be an a-hole and irritated, then don't take my advice and don't hire anybody and do everything yourself and be burnt out, exhausted, and continue down that destructive hole into your relationships that'll eventually end and crumble and be no good. But if you are willing and you are wanting to improve your relationship and you do want to be that spouse that you want to be married to, and you do want to be loving and accepting and nurturing and supportive, then figure out a way to curate your surroundings. Maybe you need to look at something more beautiful when you come home. Maybe you need a room of solitude just for you. Maybe it's your waiting room. Maybe it's your bedroom or your closet. A lot of times as women physicians, we talk about our closets being our shrines. We go in there and we look at all of our beautiful color coordinated clothes and our shoes organized, if that's what your closet looks like. But find a space and curate your space that brings you joy so that in your place of irritation and a-hole, you can go to that space and it doesn't have to be physical. This space can actually be in your head. You can close your eyes and you can meditate. You can imagine yourself in the mountains. You can imagine yourself at the beach. You can imagine yourself at Honeymoon 2.0 in Maui at the Four Seasons, October 7th through 11th, 2024, with 7 other beautiful, growth-minded, brilliant, responsible couples who want to further and grow their marriage. That's the other piece. It's not just about what's on the outside, it's also what's the inside. Are you surrounding yourself with people who are on the inside uplifting and collaborative and loving? You can't tell me that your friends just happen to all be negative Nancy's, Karens, and that's what you're stuck with. You get to choose who you hang out with. You get to choose the surroundings in your home, whether you are a home decorating, you have that room already, or whether you need to think about this, put some more intentionality and mindfulness in this. So with those 3 tips, I am going to send you on your way to please go try and be less of an a-hole and less irritated, because I know you don't want to be. And I'm not saying you are, but I use this beautiful example that Anonymous wrote on a Facebook group. And I thought this was just a lovely example, an opportunity to talk about this, because guess what? I'm often irritated too. And I know that many of you out there are irritated as well. So just to run through the 3 quick points. Number 1, figure out what your unmet needs are and fill them. Don't wait for anybody else to fill them. Nobody's going to take care of your needs the way you take care of your needs. Go do it. Number 2, figure out if you're that spouse you want to be married to. And if you're not, well, let's ask yourself some better questions to get there. And number 3, craft your surroundings. It can be physical, mental, friend-wise, social-wise. And lastly, join us in Hawaii, on Maui, for the most exquisite, luxurious retreat you have ever been on. Bring your spouse, bring your love. We are going to go to a place of unforgettable intimacy. Your love life will never be the same. We're going to have deep conversations if that's what you want to participate in, or you can listen to us and others. We're going to go on amazing excursions, magical Haleakala bike rides through a cloud. There will be opportunities for hula dancing and surfing and growing together in community and lots of alone time. Believe me, if this was a couples and intimacy retreat you want to be on, you want to have alone time with your love to deepen that connection, that intimacy, that romance, that bond. So please share this with a friend who really needs to hear this today. Maybe you know a friend struggling in their relationship, or maybe you have a power couple friend who just really wants to get even further and enhance their intimacy again. Please share this episode. You could save a life, you could save a marriage, you could save a relationship. Until next time, my friends, so much love to you and your spouse.
If you are finding the concepts I teach in these episodes useful and want more in-depth and personalized support for your relationship, consider this your invitation to join me in creating the most connected and intimate relationship with your spouse that you could dream of. Go to www.medicinemarriageandmoney.com right now and download my 18-page medical marriage survival guide and workbook at no cost to you. I also have a 6-day marriage challenge, which goes over the 6 predictors of divorce at no cost to you. These have been known to decrease fighting, rumination, and grudges between you and your loved one. If you want to take it a step farther, really enhance the joy and connection in the most intimate relationship in your life, sign up for my 8-week Making Marriage Work program today at medicinemarriageandmoney.com. Thanks for leaving us a stellar review, subscribing, and sharing with your friends on social media. You have the power to improve someone else's life and marriage simply by sharing this episode. Much love to you and your spouse. You're exactly where you need to be in this moment. Adios, my friends. The content of this episode is not intended to be a substitute for professional, medical, or financial advice. The opinions provided on this episode are those of myself or the invited guest alone. They do not represent the opinions of any particular institution. Always seek the advice of your physician or financial advisor with any questions you may have of a medical condition or financial plan. This is for your entertainment only.